Today on First Cup, I'm going to respond to the stuff you all left in the Facebook group, tell you all about my crazy weekend, and we'll probably talk about stuff that you bring up live. So, I don't know, stick around. We're rolling in 15 seconds. Oh. 5, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Monday. It is October 18th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Good morning, Jenny. No first cup mug this morning. The first cup mug is in the dishwasher. And because of my crazy weekend, I was not around. I wasn't running the dishwasher. I pretty much came home and slept and left again, and came home and slept and left again, and came home and went to bed early. Good morning, Stacy. Well, I hope you all had a good weekend, good Friday. Not Good Friday, but a Good Friday. Because it wasn't Good Friday. No, it wasn't Good Friday. Don't ask the Jew about the Catholic holidays, but he knows it wasn't Good Friday. Well, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday were pretty much involved, all in the same thing. So I had a friend putting on a conference in Burlington, and if any of you are familiar with South by Southwest, that's way too many for this early. Think of that, but one day and much smaller. That's what it was. That's the goal, is to do something similar to that and grow it in the Burlington, Vermont area. We had a ton of great speakers, and I spent much of my day Friday helping with logistics and making phone calls and providing moral support, because I've put on events and I know how emotionally draining they can be. So that was Friday, and then we kicked off the event, just some venues around Burlington, got a couple drinks, started to meet people, which was great. It was a wonderful group of people. Got back up there Saturday, hung out. That was good. And then yesterday, a smaller group of us, not everybody, but a larger group than I expected, showed up. We went for a hike together, chatted more, and that was it. That was it. Stacey, it's Friday, yeah. Anytime I get to hang around people, new people, groups of new people, it's interesting how that all goes. Right? Because you get people that you're like, oh, this person's interesting. This person is not. This person I'd like to get to know better. This person is already draining. Right? Now, there were far more of the good type than the less good type. But we had some pretty cool stuff. Those of you who are, local, may know about the taiko drumming group. Well, the leader of that, Stuart, came out and did a taiko demonstration and talked a bit about taiko, and he and I clicked. What a good dude. Like, just a really good guy. So, and we had everything from people running billion-dollar companies, literally, to people who made movies, independent music. Like, it was really, really kind of cool. And you all were doing stuff, of course, because you weren't there with me. Stacy says Laura took first in all her divisions for the tournament. For those of you that don't remember, Stacy and Laura, Team Smashy Smash, who wear the whistlekick logo, and I'm honored that they do. Had a breaking event, I think. Stacy, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's looking like the last virtual breaking event for the year. I heard some rumblings on social media that you guys will be in person next time, so fingers crossed on that. But well done, and I'm sure you did well as well, and maybe you'll let us know how you did. What else happened over the weekend? I spent a bunch of time emptying boxes, trying to clean up the house, shelling hazelnuts, dealing with some things in the garden, all in between the bit of sleep that I was able to get. I went to bed early. I was in bed. I was asleep long before 9 yesterday. I needed to. It was just a long weekend. And now it's Monday. And there's an episode. And I could guess what the episode is, but I'd rather be sure. If it's the one I think it is, I'm super excited because we did something we haven't done before with this one. It will be out soon. It will be out later today, episode 650. We'll check again in a little bit. Stacy says, the last virtual this year. Okay, so I was right there. We can't make the first in-person or Hall of Fame. It's on November 13th. Oh, no! Oh, I hate when this stuff shows up at the same time. Yeah, we have someplace to be. We all have someplace to be on November 13th. Wow, I'm not articulating words very well. As much as I slept, I thought I caught up, but maybe it just takes copy. So today's an interesting day. Not the work day. The work day is this whole week is packed. People have been writing in. They're like, "Can we meet? Can we talk about this? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about this? I want to be a client. I want to be a client. Can we have a meeting?" And I'm looking at my schedule. I'm gonna get very little work done. Most of my work's gonna be talking to people over Zoom and phone and in person, and it's gonna go crazy. Ooh. And Dennis is agreeing, yes, and totally in person. Yeah, November 13th, free training day. So once my work day is done, I don't know that I'm going to make it to the gym today. We'll see. I'd like to, but maybe. Anyway, I am going for a firearms lesson. I've always wanted to learn more than, the incredible fundamental basics of how to load, operate, and not shoot myself with a gun. And we have this wonderful new indoor range facility, and I stopped in a couple weeks ago, and I was like, hey, teach me guns. And they said, yeah, we do that. Cool. So that's what we're doing tonight. I think it's 1 or 2 hours. There's a range. Is it something I'm going to use often? I have no idea. It might be something I get into. It might not be. But learning skills is never a bad thing. Having skills available that you choose not to use, that's fine. Having desire for skills you do not have, yeah. I want more skills. I'm going to level up. I'm going to play real life Dungeons and Dragons and level up all these skills. Stacy says she did okay. Second in 2 events, totally whiffed on the elbow. Oh no, you were only second place on 2 of your 3 events. Think you're setting the bar a little low. A little high. Sounds great. Happy for you. Oh no. I saw you mention this on Facebook. Wiped out walking across the living room floor though. Took out my left knee and no boards. I'm trying to decide whether taking out boards as you fell would be really good or really bad. It would be impressive. Yeah, I don't know. I could go either way on that one. Of course, during this whole weekend thing, people ask, what do you do? And you end up talking to people about martial arts, and had a couple people saying, teach martial arts? I'm like, no, maybe in the future. No, I do not. They're like, oh. There seems to be some pent-up demand from people wanting to train, wanting to learn. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens. But people were interested in the consulting work that I do, and they were also really interested in the martial arts stuff that I'm doing, especially the people who trained martial arts or had in the past. They're like, oh, okay, I get it. That's cool. Now, it wasn't a typical business mixer sort of thing. We were more chatting in between these presentations, which were quite varied and really cool. Everything from, like I said, music, conversations on business, conversations on artificial intelligence and rockets. And it was a neat group of smart people, and I enjoyed being around them. And I'm glad that I got to play a small role in helping it happen. Dennis is responding here. Stacy, on their best day, professional fighters only land 30% of their strikes cleanly. I did not know that, but that makes sense. And Stacy responds, unfortunately, tore a meniscus instead. Yikes. Oh, I'm sorry. It stings. Ouch. Certainly not nearly as bad or as painful. One of the things I noticed on Saturday, because we just sat. I mean, we were sitting from 8:30, and yeah, you get up and you stretch your legs in between things, but by the time I left that building, I think I had less than 1,500 steps on my little doohickey here, and my back was just so tight, and I wasn't the only one. There were half a dozen of us standing in the back of the room, just kind of like doing this kind of fidgety thing, like and I can feel it in my low back. I'm just really tight. That's why I may or may not go to the gym tonight, because I need to kind of shake that out. And doing anything that's going to be strenuous on top of those muscles being grumpy, it's asking for trouble. So. Yeah, so that was my weekend. That's my day. Sounds like those are your weekends. I'd love to hear more about what you all did. But let's shift gears. Let's see what you all gave me to talk about. So I've got some stuff here from Frank, and I got a quote from Stacy. I'm going to save Stacy's quote. I'm going to read Frank's stuff first. On this day in 1960, Jean-Claude Van Damme was born. Apparently, his fight scenes are so intense that he won't film them in the US for fear of being sued. I could see that, especially early on. Some of those early movies where they were kind of violent, and I could totally see him not having great control, or intentionally not having great control. Well, I guess I wouldn't. Those are contradictory. Or intentionally hitting people in a way that maybe the litigious climate of the U.S. would be prohibitive. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Pardon my yawning. Suffered from mood swings and depression for years, causing him to seek his refuge in martial arts and drugs. Finally, after several attempts at rehab, he visited a neurologist who diagnosed him with rapid cycling bipolar disorder. With appropriate medication, he has managed to stay off drugs ever since, and he has even remarried his former wife, Gladys Portugues. So now, I don't know when that was written, because he relapsed not too long ago. In the last few years, he went through some really rough stuff. And we didn't talk a lot about it as a martial arts community. I think because a lot of people didn't know. But I didn't talk about it because I didn't want to say negative things about someone. A legend in the martial arts movie industry. But there was a point where, if I remember correctly, drugs broke homeless even. So he's doing better, and that's a good thing. I'm really happy that he is. So Jenny had quite the weekend, quite the tasty weekend, it looks like. Made ginger snap cookies, drank hot apple cider, did a little Halloween decorating, watched Casper, and baked and pureed my pumpkin to make pumpkin butter for my seasonal recipes. I've not made pumpkin butter. But why not make pumpkin butter? I'm going to look at making pumpkin butter. I've got apple butter. I've got grape butter. I've got other butters. Why not pumpkin butter? Great way to preserve stuff. And let's face it, pumpkins are pretty inexpensive. And they're huge. And you get seeds. And they're tasty. The one little pumpkin, I think I showed it on the show, the one little pumpkin that I managed to grow this year that was that big. It was starting to get pretty soft, so I pulled the seeds. We'll grow some more. Jenny says, do it. And Stacy's suggesting a road trip to Jenny's. I agree. Let's go eat that food. That sounds great. Those of you who are watching live right now, what's your favorite Van Damme movie? You know, we're talking about Van Damme. It's his birthday. We should honor him. Apparently he's a big animal rights activist. That I did not know. Let's see. We did Kickboxer for a How to Fight. There's so many, and they blur because it's not about the plot. I don't know. For me, it's Kickboxer or Bloodsport. Probably because those are the two I've seen the most. I've seen those multiple times each. The Quest was fun. Universal Soldier, right? And then there was this, what is it? Twin Impact, where he plays himself twice. Now there's I think it's the Amazon kind of sitcom show, Jean-Claude Van Johnson. I have not seen that. I've heard it's good. I probably should watch it, but I'm afraid, right? Like, you step into something like that where there's an actor that you want to not hate their work. I'm afraid I'm going to hate it. I really am. So I haven't done it. Stacy's not sure if she's seen Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Wow. We may have to find a way to create a price of admission for you for this show tomorrow. People say that to me about certain martial arts movies. You know what? Let's face it. Most martial arts movies are kind of lame. But we like watching them because they're about martial arts, and we love martial arts. So I get it. Coffee. It's really dark. Don't like it. But I will say, here it is. It's October 18th. I have not turned any heat on. I have not run a wood stove. A wood stove? I only have one. I have not run the wood stove. I have not turned on the furnace. I haven't used a little electric space heater. Nothing. Just closing windows. Putting on sweatshirts. It was below 50 last night. I'm going to bring some of the plants in today. We've got some rougher weather coming. It's going to be a little bit close to frost, and I want to bring in the tropicals. I want to bring in the palms and the avocados at least, and give those a shot at surviving. The aloes are already inside. Those are the only ones I brought in, because aloes aren't happy with daytime highs in the 50s. Let me get you a list. Stacy, I figured somebody else was going to do this, but they're not. Let me get Stacy a list of other Van Damme movies. Lionheart. That one I remember liking. 75 acting credits. Wow. Now there's some fun stuff in here that I didn't realize he did. There's a new Minions movie, and he has a voice credit in there. He was in Kung Fu Panda 3. We're skipping past all the stuff where he was in Expendables 2. He's played a lot of really lame roles. He's Master Croc in Kung Fu Panda. What I'm laughing at is the fact that all of these movies that I'm looking at are basic. You know, they're shot and released 10 to 15 years ago, but they have very 80s and early 90s style covers, and it's like his face making various gruff expressions. Legionnaire, Universal Soldier, Knockoff, Double Team, when he was with Dennis Rodman. The Quest. He was in Street Fighter. Oh, that was a bad movie. Time Cop, Hard Target, Last Action Hero, Nowhere to Run, Double Impact, Death Warrant, Lionheart, Kickboxer, Cyborg, Black Eagle, Bloodsport, No Retreat, No Surrender, and a handful of other things where he had uncredited roles. Yeah, Dennis is naming off some, pretty much the same. Stacy says, let's face it, I've only seen Enter the Dragon, Circle of Iron, and Best of the Best when it comes to 70s martial arts movies. Well, Van Damme didn't start until the late 80s. Bloodsport was what, 87? So, yeah, he was a staple in the late 80s, early 90s, early to mid 90s. You know, he had about a 10-year run where he was a really big deal, and then had 10 years where most of his stuff was straight to home release. You know, you'd go to Blockbuster and say, "Oh, there's a new Van Damme movie. Let's look for literally anything else." Oh, I've seen everything else. All right, let's get this pile of crap and watch it. And you watch it, and you're like, "Okay, that was kind of fun. You know, better than staring at the wall." But nobody was ever really pumped about him. But now that we have this, you know, we're big on nostalgia right now. We're getting some more fun stuff. You know, we're getting some of these actors over the last 5-10 years who, by all accounts, would have been too old for roles, you know, in a traditional release. But there are enough of us who like them and are willing to watch. And of course, the economics of Netflix, etc., are a little different. So we'll watch. You know, oh, okay. Here's Van Damme doing Kickboxer 42. I'll watch that. There's so many. Stacy says, now I was a Steven Seagal addict for a while. I've watched a number of Steven Seagal movies. What was the one? There's one, The Patriot, which everybody got confused because there was a Mel Gibson, The Patriot. And yeah, Seagal kind of went through that too, but I don't know that he did any direct to rental stuff. All right, I think Dennis came in after I brought this up, but he's talking about the Amazon show. There's a Jean-Claude Van Damme TV show on Amazon Prime that was comical, where he makes fun of himself. It was enjoyable, ran just one season. Stacey says the Seagal movies are all the same. Most martial arts movies follow a pretty basic plot. Somebody gets hurt, somebody seeks vengeance. You killed my brother, my family, my friend, my instructor. Now I'm going to kill you, but there's something I had that caused that means I can't just go do that in the first act. I'm either not good enough, or you live far away, or you're protected by the cops, or whatever, right? Like there's always something, there's some obstacle to taking that vengeance. We had that in Roadhouse. There's always something in the way. I have a rough plot and a rough actually methodology for putting together a martial arts movie. I'd love to do it. I really would. I think it would take 6 to 8 weeks to do it the way I want to do it, and more money than I'm going to put making a movie that nobody's going to watch. Oh, see, as whistlekick grows, maybe we'll get an opportunity. Maybe Netflix will come and say, hey, we'll give you $250,000 to put together a pilot for, or to put together a concept film on something. Maybe somebody will buy the rights to Faith because I already know how to shoot that as I wrote the book. That was part of how I wrote it. That's why it's dialogue heavy. That's why the choreography is already there in the book. Producer would just have to read the book. Go, all right, you two do this fight scene. You do. Nope, you do this. It's basically a script. So, well, I think we're going to call it here. But before I go, let me give you a link to a place to leave things to talk about tomorrow. Post it on the group. And there you go. So if you want to leave us, it's ours, questions and comments, you can do so there. And let's see if today's episode of Martial Arts Radio is out yet, or if I'm going to have to tell you about something that hasn't gone live yet. All right. I'm guessing it's uploading or something. Episode 650, if I'm remember. Oh, let me double check. I can look in Dropbox at our notes. Episode 650 is coming out today. Whistlekick podcast episodes current. Yep. So episode 650 is with two people I respect the heck out of. A couple of brothers, Sam and Angel Diaz. And I got to know them over the competitive circuit over the last few years and just really blown away. Yes, with their skill, but more so with their integrity, the friendly attitude they bring in, and their willingness to engage and talk and support martial arts overall. I mean, we are similar in that way. They're doing it differently. You know, their energy is going into competition and raising the stakes, and as far as I'm concerned, making everybody around them better because of it. But we have similar philosophies. And I interviewed them together. They're brothers. They don't live together, but they live near enough each other. We had a conversation, and it's in video, so if it's in your podcast feed, it should show up. Oh, Stacy, your quote. I'm so sorry. Yes, please. I glossed over that, and I'll be honest. It is good that we move that to tomorrow because I don't think my brain is fully wrapped around that. I'm gonna have to digest this quote. Stacy put up a quote, and I like it, but so I'm gonna read it to you, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. Those who understand see themselves in all, and all in themselves, and that's from the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita. It's like a mental twister, not a tongue twister. So I want to make sure that we get into that. The fact that I forgot it was there after 5 minutes is perfect indication that there's too much meat there for me to dig into it today. So thank you. Yes. And I apologize. But that episode with Sam and Angel came out really good. It's not a typical episode. See, I can't even speak. It's not a typical episode. And that's not a judgment of this or any of our other episodes. Just the fact that we had two people and the relationship they have with each other. Because there's an age gap. And we talk all about it. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Yeah, you can listen, and you should, but you can also watch when it gets up on YouTube. And I hope that you watch, because the subtle context of the way they relate to each other, you're not going to hear that. But you can see it in video, and I think it adds a lot to the subject. So, please do so. Check it out. I want to thank everybody for watching or listening. I want to thank Frank and Stacy for posting things. I want to apologize again to Stacy for not reading her quote. I'm a jerk. No. We'll dig into that one tomorrow. I'll be more awake. I'm assuming. Maybe not. May not happen. But I'll try. Okay. I hope you have a great day. I hope you leave me stuff for tomorrow. I hope that you'll, I don't know, train and be nice and enjoy life and all those other things. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Peace.